I'm the only one in a complete suit. I want to chat with you guys about something, but I am just busy with housework right now. We've not been home for the last 2 days. One day we did that awesome beekeeping field trip, and man, it was amazing. Now we're home today for the first time in 2 days, but I really haven't done much around the house since Saturday, so it's been 3 days of not doing laundry, not doing much food prep, and cleaning is good because we had church here Sunday, so that's caught up, so I can focus on the kitchen and the clothes. And so I've got a lot going on, but when I get a minute, I'm gonna stop, sit, and have a nice chat with you guys. I love how I thought that I was actually gonna have time to sit down and chat with you guys yesterday. I didn't. I had so much going on, I ran out of time, but today is a new day and it's earlier. So I'm stopping to sit and chat with you and cover, I guess, you know, all my videos come from conversations or things I see or encounter throughout my real life. And this has been a somewhat frequent conversation over the course of the last few weeks. And I thought, I've never talked about this on my channel. I'm sure I've touched on it here and there, but just explicitly said, do not be your husband's mother, be his lover, be his friend, his companion, his lover. We are not their mothers. And unfortunately, we fall into those little traps from time to time, treating them like a mama, instead of remembering we have a romantic, intimate relationship and we want to feed that and not cause a little bit of repelling by acting like their mom. So I thought it'd be fun to jot down a few ways that I myself have totally been like a mother to my husband, and that I've, you know, that I've seen and heard where I've thought, you're mothering your husband, or a husband saying something and I'm like, that's being mothered by his wife instead of having your lover, your companion, your friend. So, and I just want to preface this by saying, I know some of these are really hard not to do. I don't know what it is. We're like created, very nurturing. We're mothers. But the truth of the matter is this role stops. Even the way we treat our children, like already, my boys are teen boys, and I'm already making effort to be more of a counselor, mentor, and friend than on their case as a mother all the time, because they are going to be men one day, and I want them to be men that know how to stand on their own 2 feet, that know how to make their own decisions, that know how to run their own life, that have their own personal discipline and motivation. They don't need me on their case all the time. I've had this mentality for many years, so this is not new. I have a 16 and a 15-year-old, and I already try to implement these things in their life. Of course, I still mother them. I try to remind them of things because I'm their mother. I can barely handle not doing it. But I'm aware of it. It's not like I'm blind, you know. For example, me and my friends make fun of me constantly about this. If they go outside on a cold, windy day, I will definitely be like, don't forget your chapstick. I will definitely do that. And my friends make fun of me. Or if it's super, super sunny and we're going to be outside for 8 hours, it's like, put some sunscreen on. And my friends think that's hilarious, but I can't help it. I want to protect them from scorching their skin and from having miserable chapped lips. And you know, I'm mothering them, but I'm also teaching them good habits and to remember these things for the future. Now, somebody else might say, just let them get sunburned. They'll learn that way. Maybe, I don't know, but that's just not my style. Or when they were little, this is fine. Obviously, I would like talk through the bathroom door and be like, don't forget to scrub your ears, or don't forget this or that, you know, because I wanted to teach them the proper and good way to habitually clean themselves. So that's different. I do not do that anymore at all. Mosquito nets when they camp, or mosquito bug repellent when they go through the woods, ticks, poison ivy. Like I try to just remind them like, hey, it's snake season, watch out. But I don't do it in a way that demeans them or makes them feel like they're not smart enough to remember that. It's more like, I would tell that to a friend. I would tell that to my friend, like, oh my goodness, it's snake season, we got to be careful. But there's effort and intentionality on how to do it in a way that isn't motherly. So I think that's allowed too with our husbands, by the way. When I say that reminding our husbands of stuff is mothering them, I don't want it to feel like it's always 100% of the time mothering them. Obviously not. If you would remind your friend of this thing, then it's probably fine. If you would do it in a motherly way with obviously motherly tone, then there's something to check on and work on. So here we go. And also the constantly part. I put reminding him of things constantly. That is also a big part of it. If it's just once in a while, it's not going to come across as mothering. But if it's like every day, don't forget your lunch, you know, did you call that person back? Did you pay that bill? Did you do this? Did you do that? It just communicates like they're incompetent and they need you to remind them of normal, everyday things that they're totally capable of remembering. So it's the constant reminding that I think is the part that is motherly, you know. Correcting him in public. I think I see this a lot and it always stands out to me. And so I think it's easy to see the things you yourself don't do, but it's easy to be blind to the things you do. So I don't do this, so I see it really easily. And I've seen it the whole time I've been married. I've noticed it in other wives. So I don't do it. But that doesn't mean I don't do other things that I'm blind to and that other wives see me do, you know? So correcting him in public, no, it wasn't Monday, it was Sunday. And like having a back and forth about that, who cares? Who cares if he said the wrong day? Leave it. You know, all it does is create an awkward moment for the people listening, and it makes you look really disrespectful, and it makes him feel, what the heck, lady? Leave me alone. Who cares if I got the day wrong? You know, like, it's just not good. So correcting him in public, not only do they feel super disrespected, but it's very mothering. Monitoring his choices. There's many times where our husbands might make a choice that we're like, I wish he wouldn't have, but you know, what do you do with that feeling? Do you bring it up? Do you argue about it? Do you call him out? Do you correct him, criticize him? That's where you got to say, I'm not going to manage his choices. Everybody has to learn through their own choices. And sometimes it's painful to watch. If your husband is drinking a huge soda and then he's going to feel awful for the rest of the day, let him learn that for himself. He is a grown man. He can figure it out. If he hates the way he feels and it causes him to think twice the next time, good. If not, fine. Let him keep making the same mistake over and over, you know, and that is only so much you could do, right? And it is mothering to bring it up, criticize him, try to make him do something different. Again, I'm going to say this a lot probably. They're a grown man. They are a grown man. And a grown man doesn't need a little woman constantly saying to them. They don't need that. They don't want that. It repels. And so it breaks intimacy. And that's what we're trying to hang on to, because that's what being a lover is, keeping that intimacy intact. How can I be your lover, your friend, your companion? Well, don't break the intimacy constantly by being motherly. And so this is what we're trying to not do. We don't want to break the intimacy. So, you know, if you're like, you've already done that, or you've already had enough of this or that, or you shouldn't do this, or shh, even though it's really hard, shh. Just, they'll come around maybe one day and maybe not. And if they never do, you know, what can you do? You can only make your own choices for your own health, your own body, your own life. You know, of course, there's been compromise through life, conversations. I'm not saying you can't talk about these things early on in our marriage. Hector was much more of a night owl than he is now, and I went to sleep much earlier than I do now. So we kind of met in the middle. We go to bed like around 11:30ish now, much later than I used to go to bed, much earlier than he used to go to bed. And why? It worked out. It worked out that we both agreed, let's go to bed together. But I do think, you know, in the beginning, it wasn't something I just didn't want to address, but it wasn't motherly. It was to actually increase intimacy. Like, I want to work, I want to live together. Like, let's go to bed together. Let's wake up together. Obviously, we don't wake up at the same time every day, but you get the idea. And then let's say he would have said no, that would have been something that I just had to live with. And I would have, I'm sure I would have, because he's an individual. He's a person. I'm me, he's him. If that's how he functions, there's got to be a mutual respect and an individuality that we allow each other, because we are different people. And that promotes intimacy, when you don't try to make somebody change for you or how you think they should be. If you try to make someone be the way you think they should be, that is going to zap your intimacy as lover and friend. Another way we might fall into mothering our husbands is to take over their responsibilities. So like redoing everything that they did wrong, or he didn't do it fast enough. Just let the man be a man. Like, I can't stress enough how it is not wrong that men are different than us. And it is not laziness or rebellion that they work differently than we do. They're different humans and they work and see things differently and do things differently. And it's just something you have to learn to live with together. Not fix or change, but learn and respect and accept. I feel like men don't struggle with these things. They just let us be. But we want to like change them. And that's not really gonna promote intimacy either, because promoting intimacy, you want the person to know that you love them for who they are and how they are. So if you're always trying to change them, they're not going to feel wanted or desired or like appreciated or intimate and close to you, because you just want to make them different. So that doesn't promote intimacy either. So a scolding tone is another. Why can't you remember? I already told you. I already told you 5 times. That is critical at heart and judgmental at heart. And it's really like undermining how much they have going on too in their mind. If, you know, if it's something specific, like they forgot or you already told them something, it's just being rude and inconsiderate, because yeah, you may have told them and they may have generally forgotten, and that's okay because they have a lot on their mind. And so we just need to find balance in how we interpret that. Obviously, if it's something really, really, really important to you and you've communicated it many times and it keeps getting forgotten, there's exceptions to all these things. There's ways around all of these things where it's not motherly. I'm specifically talking about the negatives, but there's exceptions. Obviously, you can talk to your husband about something that you've told him 5 times and that you really need him to remember because it's very important to you, but you need to communicate it, and you need to communicate it kindly, like a friend, like a lover, not critical, fed up, and like you're teaching them something, like a mother, you know? Rewarding or withholding affection or love based on their behavior, which I hope no mother does that, by the way. You don't withhold love from your child based on their behavior. Then you're teaching them conditional love. That is hideous and very ungodly, because God does not love us that way. But there are rewards and there are consequences, obviously. You don't want to treat your husband like that. You don't want to be like, good job, now you get the reward. Or bad boy, now you don't get the reward. That is not friendship or lover. Let's not do that. Overscheduling him or organizing him, making plans without checking with him, overbooking him, setting reminders for him. The setting reminders for him part can go also, there's a little wiggle room there, because again, if it's not constantly, you're not mothering him. If it's, you know, plans you've made that you've run by him, he's approved of, he's excited about, he wants to do, but his work schedule's packed, and you just say, don't forget tonight, we got so-and-so coming over. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. I'll be home at a certain time. Because they can get carried away with their work day and show up late. And it's like, I didn't remind you, you should have known. That could come off also really bad. So reminders aren't always wrong. It's just how you do it, right? And then of course, overscheduling them. I think we need to, you know, that book that I love, The Excellent Wife by Martha Peace. I did a book study on my channel years ago. One of the things that I remember that book saying is considering their schedule more important than ours. And I know that for a career woman, that may sound really, really, really hard. And I get it. It probably is harder that way. But as a housewife, it's not hard for me to say his schedule is the most important schedule. My schedule is more flexible. I have more freedom. I have more things I could say no to than he can. So his schedule trumps our schedule. And I work around his schedule. I don't make his work around our schedule. So I don't schedule things without checking with him, because that would be inconsiderate to the fact that he works unpredictable hours all the time so that we can have this life. So you better believe I'm going to check with him. And you better believe if he doesn't want to do anything because he's tired, that we're not going to do anything. I'm not going to make us have plans if he doesn't want them. And sometimes we're tired and he really wants to do something fun, and we'll say yes to bless him because he has the time to do something fun instead of just work, 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 where we just want to be home because we're so, me and the boys are hilarious. We're just like, I want to stay home. I want to stay home. And Hector's more like, let's go do something. So sometimes it's like, can we please not? And he is so sweet. He'll, let us stay home. And sometimes it's like, boys, we're going to bless daddy and go do this. Okay, let's go. Because we want to bless him and sacrifice for him too, like he does for us. So there's give and take, obviously, but definitely don't want to overbook him, overschedule him, consider his schedule above your own. I mean, obviously, if you're a career woman, that's going to be different in your home than it is in mine, and that's fine. You can still work it out somehow. And then reminding him, not like he's incompetent, but just as a helper. There is a difference. Talking down to him like if he's clueless or needs guidance. Horrible. That communicates so many negative things. And of course, is such a turnoff. Why would he be attracted to you if that's how you're talking to him? Why would he view you as this lover and friend that he wants to come home to when you're talking down on him, like if he's incompetent and needs you to guide him because he doesn't know how to think for himself? What an intimacy zapper. Horrible. Do not talk down to your husband. Just because he doesn't function how you function does not mean he's wrong and you're right. It just means he's different. Learn him and accept him. And maybe follow him. Also, do things different than you would do sometimes because you want to be a team, right? Does team mean always you, or does team mean give and take? And it needs to be give and take. Emotionally rescuing him. We do this with our kids. Are you okay? Do you need to talk? Please tell me what's the matter. Trying to fix his moods or shielding him from discomfort. He's a grown man. You can ask him how he is. You can pray for him. You can tell him you love him. You're there for him. Let the man process. Let the man deal. He is a grown man. He doesn't need you to swoop in to rescue him and help him feel better. Before I got married, my fear, I said this to my friends. I said, I think one of my biggest fears is how I will help Hector when he feels discouraged. And that was before marriage. Once I was married, I realized and learned very quickly, he has the Lord. And the most I can do for him is be here for him and pray for him and point him to the Lord and just pray for him. And he's going to be okay. He's a big boy. I had that feeling of wanting to rescue him, and I was wrong. And I'm so glad I learned it early in that area. There's other areas I could definitely do better in. But in that area, I learned that early. Like he needs to, and he will be fine, dealing with the discomforts of life and feelings and his moods and processing and figuring it out. I don't need to be his little rescuer. Moms want to rescue their kids' reputation. We can help our husband's reputation by always speaking well of them, never bashing them, never highlighting their flaws. But if they do something publicly, foolishly, that's on them. Like it is on them. And they're going to have to deal with that. It is not your mother job to rescue their reputation. And it's a hard lesson for everybody. It feels crummy, but it's part of not being motherly and letting people be individuals. So that's another way to avoid rescuing. And also, like if it's something real bad, obviously, maybe you need help, and maybe you not covering up for him all the time will bring people in your life that help you. But if you're always covering up for him, you're like keeping yourself in a bad cycle where he knows he's not going to get called out by anybody. There's not going to be any accountability, and he can just keep behaving badly or poorly and not work on something that really needs addressing. So you can be shooting yourself in the foot by always rescuing his reputation. And that's a little bit more extreme, but I think it's worth mentioning. This is the one I'm really bad at. so bad at this. Lord help me. And I know it bothers him so bad. And I know it communicates so many bad things. But it's just hard being the family referee when there's conversation or conflict or tension. I want to swoop in and referee or be the mediator between him and the kids. And I am messing up every time I do that. And I know it. And I know it right now in my right mind. I know it. But man, when those moments happen, I'm just like, what? Let me help you understand where he's coming from. It's so... Why do I do it? Oh, and I know you understand, moms. I know you understand. So when we do that, we're mothering, we're messing up in front of our kids. We're messing up our intimacy. We are disrespecting our husbands. We are making them feel like they have no place as a father to speak however they need to speak to their children. And I know this in my head. I know it. But man, it is hard when I'm in the moment. And he's not even being harsh or anything. I'm just so into the whole psychology world of understanding people and helping resolve conflict a certain way that I bring my little thing in, and it's annoying. So I need to work on that a lot. Okay, so then the next list is things we should do instead. So admire him openly. Not necessarily like on Facebook. I always feel, I don't know, I'm more of a private person. So it's funny because I have a YouTube channel. But as far as my relationship goes, my vulnerability and my affections for my husband, I am more private with that in front of him, obviously to him, and then in front of my children, mostly. Not like on Facebook. Here, you guys hear me speak highly of my husband. I adore him. But you hear just surface, like, I love my husband. You've seen me cry a couple times talking about how much I love him. But like, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to be showy about it. I guess that's the motive behind being more private. I guess that keeps me more reserved because I don't want anyone to judge my motives. It's very genuine to keep it private. And so I admire him openly to my children and to him. And, you know, if people are around, they might see us exchange smiles, or I'm affectionate with him, but I never am doing it to show off. And I never want to be perceived as doing it to show off. That's why I think I'm more guarded in that. Flirt, play, laugh, be goofy with him. Show him that you desire him. You desire him, not desire to manage him. And give him physical attention. Another is to respect his autonomy. We've talked about this. He's an individual. So let him handle things his way. And the hard part about that is that very often it could be different than your way, how you would do it. And this is where a lot of loss of attraction comes in, where we want to constantly share our different way. Well, it becomes unattractive. So you have to choose. Do I want to share my way, my thoughts, my opinion, my suggestion, or do I want my husband to be very attracted to me? And of course, obviously, sometimes you have to share your thoughts and opinion, but pick and choose. Pick and choose the important stuff, not the dumb stuff that doesn't matter, where the spoons go in the kitchen. Like, pick the important stuff. If everything that comes out of his mouth is an objection by you or a different idea from you, he's not going to be attracted to you. And that's just the plain truth. I don't care if you think that's good or bad. It's just true. So you have to choose what you want to feed your marriage. Invite, don't instruct. I think I do this well. I do not say, take out the trash to my husband. I'm like, hey, do you mind taking the trash out? Usually the kids do the trash. I'm just using the trash as an example. But I always like preface things like, hey, do you have time to do this? If not, I can. Like, I always show him that I'm not expecting him or putting it on him. I'm asking for help if he can, and if he can't, we'll do it. Especially when he's not home, because I know he's out and maybe he can swing by the grocery store for me. But if he's got a slam schedule, then no, I don't want to put that pressure on him. So I just check, like, is it possible for you to get some butter and cream? If not, no worries. I will go. Just checking if you had a gap in your schedule. And if he does, he does. And if he doesn't, I go. Inviting him to join in the chores or join in a task instead of telling him to, and always considering his busyness. Trusting his judgment, believe in his ability to lead and decide and to protect, even if you would do it differently. This really ties into the other one that I said, respecting his autonomy. So him handling things his way is one thing, but then also how he handles things that affects the whole family. And I think that one's harder for me. Sometimes he wants breakfast, sometimes he doesn't. I wish that he would have breakfast every day and then take a snack. But sometimes he doesn't want to take anything. And he just is like, I'll eat at dinner. And it's just like, that's so unhealthy. Well, that's what he wants to do. So I just let it go. Would I do it different? Yes. I do it different. I don't do that. But it's okay. That's him. He's going to do it his way. Now, if it affected the whole family, that's harder for me. Choose your battles. Choose your battles. Be emotionally open with him. I think that definitely feeds intimacy. But when you're emotionally open, I'm talking about the positive things, like your dreams, your desires, your wants, things that include him that are positive, not just all the negative things. I'm hurt by you again. You upset me again. Like, that's being emotionally open, but let's limit that. Let's limit that to the absolute have to times of talking about that stuff, because that is also an intimacy zapper. And so we want to be picking our battles. Again, these are not like never do this list. This is a pick your battles when you do this. And when you do it well. Okay, and just two more. Keep a sense of mystery. Not everything has to be predictable. Be spontaneous. Surprise him. You know, I've been thinking a lot about the fact that my boys are, they're getting older. Within the next 5 years, my life is going to be nothing like it is now. I mean, maybe in some ways, but it's just so wild to think, okay, here we go. Me and Hector alone. What do I want it to be like? What do I want to be fostering always, but now like more than ever, to make sure that when it's just us, we have something to land on. Are we friends? Are we intimate? Do we enjoy each other? Do we have jokes? Do we have laughter? Interests, things we do together. And I'm sure we'll add to that as we find ourselves with more time as we get older. But for now, already thinking about those things. And you guys know me, I'm always thinking long term. But this is not something you just want to start thinking about when your kids are teenagers. You want to be thinking about this your whole marriage, but it really intensifies as your kids are getting to that age where they're going to be graduating, starting their future, less of you, none of you, but less of you. And there's a lot to really, really, really think about and prepare for. So I definitely want to, I know my husband's very spontaneous. I'm not. And I want to feed into that. I want to lean into that and be fun for him. I'm the boring, stay at home every single day, do the same thing forever person. And he's the what's next? But he can get so caught up in work that he forgets to be spontaneous. So it's up to me to like pull him out of that sometimes, And then last one, express desire, not duty when it comes to physical intimacy. It's connection with him. It's not a task. It communicates that you desire him, not that you're obligated to him, that you also, this is about you too. It's not just about you checking off something that you're doing for him. It's about you too. You want it to. You want him to. You want to connect to. It's so profoundly important to men for them to know that you are enjoying yourself too. It is not a duty or an obligation. It is your desire as well. And you desire him as well. And that will make him very attracted to you as well. If you can keep that alive, even when it is duty in your mind, he doesn't need to know that. Even when you know, oh my goodness, it's been however many days and this has to happen today. I am so not feeling this. He doesn't need to know that, because that will just squash intimacy. And you don't want to do that. You want to keep it alive. I have always said to you guys, maybe not that much to you guys, maybe in my old videos, but I've always said to young ladies that I talk to and to friends, just do it. Just do it, and then you'll find yourself enjoying it. Just do it. Just make yourself do it, and then you'll be so glad you did. And that's on those times where it's not feeling like you're up for it. You can just do it, and then you'll be glad you did. I want to hear what you agreed with here, what you could resonate with, what you can relate to, what you don't agree with. And guys, even though these videos are for women, I know some men watch my videos. So guys, I want to know if we were right on with this list, if there's more you would add to it, if there's some you don't necessarily agree with. Please share in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. God bless you all, and see you next time.